Well, it's Friday. Opening it up for you to sound off on anything you want to sound off on. But you're only able to do it when we're live. Some of you are going to be watching this later on today, and we're not going to be live. But if you want to join us, just go to bishoponair.com, click that Discord link, and join us. We've got several people lined up in the Discord staging area. So we'll just, if you're in the staging area, I assume you want to sound off. So to do that, I'm going to invite you to speak. So who is this? Can T Design? Morning. You're in. What's going on? Hold on. Let me see if I've got this turned up here. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I got to unmute that tab. My apologies. And let's unmute that tab. And all right, now you should be able to get on loud and clear. Good morning.
All right. Good morning, Greg. How's it going, brother?
You know, I'm good. I love being able to talk with people tuning in live. So what's up?
Yeah, man, that's outstanding. Hey, man, I just wanted to let you know, touch base with you, man. Warsaw turned me onto your show, I guess, a couple months ago, man. I've really been enjoying it.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Word of mouth is the best word there could be, right? When I was in the food service industry, it was always a thing of, people, if they have a bad experience, they're going to tell 10 people, don't go there, right? But it really takes, awesome service to have somebody go and say, hey, check this out. This is a really good place to go. So I'm glad that Warsaw turned you on to it. That means I'm doing something right, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. I think, watching your show, trying to keep up with stuff in Illinois, which I've got a channel where we're trying to keep up with stuff pretty much nationwide, too, like Louisiana passing their constitutional carry through their Senate yesterday, which is awesome. So, that'll take off and go to the House, and then we try to pay attention to all the court cases and stuff too. So, man, I appreciate the information I get on your show.
Well, there's a lot going on, right? I mean, I at least get paid for this, right? My full-time gig has me tracking what's going on at the Illinois State House and tracking, say when a state law gets taken up in court, I'm tracking that. So, my full-time gig has me doing that. And I don't really have many other hobbies other than tracking this stuff. So even in my own time, like right now, I do this. So I take it that's a hobby of yours to track all of this and to get that information out?
Yeah, man. My channel actually started out going through a lot of gun laws, a lot of proposed gun laws, and actually taking like text to bills and editing them into the law so you could see how it would actually read, and then covering hearings in Congress and oral arguments coming through. So yeah. I'm deep into the end of it for sure.
Well, what's your channel? Where can people find that at?
Same as my screen name, man. C&T Designs.
C&T Designs. Okay, so it's not TD. It's C&T Designs. Fantastic.
Yeah,
well, awesome.
C&T Designs and Arm.
Awesome.
And, man, we just appreciate everything you do, brother. We appreciate you keeping us informed.
Well, thank you so much. And when we open up the Discord and you're watching live, hopefully you jump back on. Really do appreciate that. All right. So he mentioned Warsaw Patriot, and Warsaw's in the staging area. So I'll go ahead and bring him up and have him jump in if he wants to sound off. So Warsaw, you have been invited to speak. If you want to go ahead and hop in there. Good morning. What's up, man?
Morning. Yeah. Guys, Greg, I appreciate you keeping us informed, especially this past year with this whole gun ban in Illinois and other places, especially this country, man. We're in an election year, man. It's going to be a rough one, I'll tell you that, especially after getting through 2023.
Well, especially after the pandemic, right? I mean, this is a presidential election year, which is, brings out the most people. And I think that watching all of this on a national level, there's a lot of interest. But I think people get lost when you start getting into the lower kind of levels of government that really impact their lives even more. Because keep in mind, looking at the
100%.
pandemic, right? You had the president of the United States at that time, Donald Trump. His administration came out and said 2 weeks to flatten the curve, right? And then they said, oh, it's going to be 3 weeks to flatten the curve. Well, they didn't have a directive forcing that, but the state governments who have much more impact on individuals' lives, they're the ones who made those decisions. But even on a more local level, it was county governments that were implementing things, restricting economic activity, telling kids they couldn't go to school. So I think hopefully, people realize just how much impact their local governments have on their lives. And that there is significant enough for, I hope, people to be more aware of what's going on. That's why I think reporting on what's going on at the Illinois State House on a macro level is extremely important, and they are elected as well. So while we're a lot of interest in what's going on at the federal level, there needs to be a lot of interest as well on the local level.
Yeah, 100%. And also, I think people need to actually do history on their own states and their own local governments and what they can and can't do, because the state of Illinois, regardless of how people see it, yes, we're under Democratic leadership. Believe it or not, this is actually a good state. The only downside is it's always Chicago. It likes to ruin and thumb nose on what they can and can't do, especially when with the courts, like the Seventh Circuit, they always are thumbing their nose against the Supreme Court level. So I don't know, Greg. It's just like I said, it's just very interesting in what we're in right now.
Well, in the state of Illinois in particular, if you look at it in the geography of the country, it's not just shaped like a heart, but it really is like the heart of the country, because we've got all 7 Class A railroads coming through here. We've got awesome farmland, access to ports, every major interstate, cross-sects the states. Transportation's huge. The logistics are huge. I mean, this state really is kind of the crossroads of the country. But I think, and I speculate, that also opens up for industries to be captured or industries to capture government or vice versa, and that can be a breeding ground for all kinds of corruption. So we've seen that play out in the state of Illinois. Warsaw, appreciate that. Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating election year, no question about it. Let's see if we can get... go ahead. One last word.
I said... Yeah, anytime, man. And I appreciate what you're doing, man. Keep continuing, man.
Awesome.
Appreciate what you're all doing.
Well, thank you for chiming in. Ratio has their hand up. Let's invite Ratio to speak. Ratio, got you pulled up here. So what's going on? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Bishop. Glad to be speaking with you. Last time we spoke, I mentioned my theory about how when you see these immigrants on street corners, like begging, trying to get something to eat, and they got children with them. Yeah. Those children are for sale, but I'm not here to talk about that right now. I just want to get my election theory out there on paper, on record, and I'm glad that you guys brought it up in your segment with Warsaw. So, of course, we know that the convention is here in Chicago in August. Now, everybody's expecting a big announcement like Joe Biden stepping down. And a lot of people are saying it's going to be Gavin Newsom or, I don't know, somebody else. But my money is on Pritzker. Pritzker is running for president, and you heard it here first.
Well, it's been speculated for a long time that Pritzker's aiming for the White House. And yes, the convention is in Chicago for the Democrats in August. The Republicans are just north in Minneapolis in July. So the Republicans go first. Everything looks like it's going to be Donald Trump as the nominee, right? I think South Carolina goes to vote tomorrow, and that's where Nikki Haley is the main opponent, but whether or not she survives there, she says she's sticking it. What's going to happen with Biden? A great question. And all the speculation is, well, it could be Newsom coming in, and it could be Gretchen Whitmer, or it could be, J.B. Pritzker. But could it be a president VP pick, say Newsom and J.B., or Newsom and Whitmer, or J.B. and Whitmer, or Whitmer and J.B.? All of these things, pure speculation, right? But there's a lot of time between now and August. And the decisions that are going to be made behind the closed doors, I guess we'll see them play out on stage in August when they're in Chicago. But it's not just what's going to be on stage that is going to be the focus. What's happening on the ground outside of the convention center is going to be a major focus as well, because there are very unhappy people in Chicagoland proper that are expected to make their voice heard. So that could throw a wrench in some things. Maybe it'll be what was that, 1968, where they had the violent riots outside the Democratic convention. Where was that at? Chicago. So is history going to repeat itself?
Definitely not. Who's there to protest the Democrats in Chicago? But listen, I just want to get to one more thing, and this is kind of a public service announcement. Living here in Chicago and Chicagoland for close to 2 decades. Something I found is nobody cares about Black people. Nobody cares. And yes, there's there's plenty of, not all, but most are like, they're morally corrupt, and that's because of their religious leaders, right? They don't lead them to God; they lead them to their father, the devil. So anyway, but that's just the whole, but small part of the public service announcement. Nobody cares about black people. But thanks, Bishop, for having me on.
I appreciate the call. Well, and I think a lot of people in Chicago, in the black community, getting more and more frustrated. We shared some of this from the city council hearing up in Chicago earlier this week. Here's just one Chicago resident upset about the treatment of the black community, with all of the non-citizen migrants getting all kinds of free handouts and freebies.
Yeah, Black History Month, the American descendants of slavery. And I want you to know, Brandon Johnson, I understand what Breakmore's saying about we still on the plantation, but what you're looking at right now, this is what a free Negro look like. And I'm telling you, we're going to get our city back. We're going to stand for our people. We're going to get them out of our communities because they don't deserve to be there. Anytime they can't give us 3 lousy minutes of their attention while we sit here and watch y'all get them all kind of money, you watch us. We black out here, and we're going to handle our business. You watch that. I'm a free black woman. This is how we get down.
So, clearly the frustration's mounting, and we'll see just how that plays out, especially with the, convention in Chicago in August. A lot of things can happen between now and then. Inviting Caffeinated 77 to sound off, and then we'll get to Mitty as well before we wrap things up on this Discord Friday. So Caffeinated 77, if you're still there, you can join and sound off. If not, I am going to invite Mitty to join. So, okay, Caffeinated 77, you are in. Good morning.
Good morning, Bishop. Hope everything's going good with you today. Hope I'm coming through okay.
You're coming through perfect, loud and clear.
Awesome. I am doing a little over 70 going down I-55 south, so this is good. This is good.
Right
no
on. That's
school internet interruptions here. And I think Discord is doing great. Everything is coming through really good on Discord.
No, I agree. And
honestly,
having come from terrestrial radio, listen, I did terrestrial radio for like 15 years. And one of the things that really drew me to it was hearing from the listeners. That's why I really wanted to get into talk radio. And then the news side of things came in. So when, all my news responsibilities started to stack up and I was working 15-hour days with 2 different jobs, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I just wanted to do something from my home office, but I didn't have the means to get the phone calls, but Discord was suggested and it's working great. So I'm glad it's working good for you guys too.
Absolutely. I just wanted to give you a shout out. I just want to say thank you so much for bringing this information. I've been quite a while, and easy to see how much viewership you're getting. And I know you're here for us. We're here. We all remember that as well. I don't want to get into a bunch of stuff because I'm on the road, and I will go to the left field. Just want to say, great show, man. I just think that there's going to be some really good changes in Chicago with what you may or may not be getting ready to share, or what you did share on air yesterday with the woman in Chicago. Very, very upset, and I think it may change things for the better.
Yeah, it will. And again, Caffeinated 77, I appreciate you chiming in and coming through good, even if you are on a mobile. So appreciate that. And I do really do appreciate you saying that you guys are here for me as well. And that means a lot. And I'm humbled by that. I really am. All right. One last call here. Mitty, you are up in the staging area, inviting you to sound off. So let's hear from you. Go ahead and take your phone off of mute, and there should be a button there, and you should be live now. Good morning.
I think I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
All right. I really enjoy listening to your show. It's really entertaining and very informative.
Thank you.
I just got one question.
Sure.
Our illustrious governor has all these plans on how to get guns away from the honest people, the law-abiding citizens. Has anybody asked him what his plan is to get guns away from the criminals that are actually doing the shootings and breaking the laws?
Yeah, I mean, listen, they have various, law enforcement entities working together across the state, sharing information, trying to find where people are trafficking firearms to individuals who shouldn't have them. Listen, there are efforts to do that. But I think when people see social media videos of young people screaming and holding up firearms that are clearly, in the wrong hands, whether or not people go after those individuals, that type of thing is, you would think of some preventative measures, but is it enough? Are those police resources being used in a manner that's actually going to address the issue of, violent crime conducted by individuals with firearms they likely shouldn't have? Repeat that. Mitty?
What's the deterrent for them from using guns? Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can. Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. What's the deterrent from them from using guns when they're only getting their hands slapped, especially in Chicago, and put back in the street again?
Yeah. Yeah.
They got to start giving them sentences that, match to what the crimes they commit.
Yeah, and when you have things like the Pretrial Fairness Act that ends cash bail for nonviolent offenses, if somebody's caught with, drugs and a gun, and illegal drugs and baggies that they're out slinging on the street, and then they have a, Glock with a switch and an extended magazine, what do you do? Do you arrest them, and then are they back out on the streets within hours, or how do you actually handle that? I think clearly there's some provisions of the law that others would like to see tweaked to ensure that people are actually going after crime rather than just looking the other way. Mitty, greatly appreciated. Anything else on your mind?
Nope, I think I said enough already.
Right on. I appreciate it.
You have a great day.
You too. And that's all we got for you here with Bishop on Air on this Friday. Really do appreciate you guys being here each and every weekday morning. And we'll see you back here on Monday. All right. So be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll be back to rocking and rolling with you and letting you know what may have happened over the weekend. And we'll walk through all of next week with you. Here with Bishop on Air. All right. Appreciate it. Somebody asks, any updates on DeVore? I believe he's got a hearing in his case February 29th. And that's the case where he has an individual he wants the court to recognize as a public, a peace officer, right? And that's just one individual. What's going on with his other case in the appeals courts to try to reinstate his gun ban challenges for the thousands of people as his clients? I'm not sure about that, but either way. All right, guys, appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. Get out there and enjoy the weather. And we'll be back at it on Monday.